A beautiful Wednesday afternoon to you and welcome to Midday News on OGTV. My name is Okwayemi Adeomi. In recognition and appreciation of the support of community development associations in complementing government's efforts, the Ogun State government has disbursed the sum of 85.5 million naira grants and aid to community development associations to support their self-help projects in the state. This was revealed by the State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, who was represented by his Chief of Staff, Alhaji Shuaib Salisu. Our reporter, Adebola Oshomoji, covered the event held at the Cooperative College, Abeokuta. Her reports.
These community development association leaders have embarked on various self-help projects which have made life more meaningful for the people. It is in recognition and appreciation of the complementary role of these associations that made the state government to graciously release the sum of 85.5 million naira as grants in aid to encourage self-help projects in the state. According to the Commissioner for Community Development and Cooperatives, Honorable Ganiu Hamzat, the disbursement of grant is for 400 community development areas and subvention for 300 area community development committees, 20 zonal community development committees, and the apex body of State Community Development Council.
Let me also use this opportunity to thank the Executive Governor of our dear state, Prince Dr. Adedapo Abiodun, MFR, for his immeasurable and unprecedented support to our communities in the state. The release of 85.5 million naira by our indefatigable governor to settle year 2020 grants in aid stroke subvention is a clear indication that His Excellency is a community-friendly governor.
Speaking on behalf of Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun, the Chief of Staff Alhaji Shuaib Salisu implored the community leaders to embrace oneness and key into the policies of the state government for the development of various communities and the society at large.
When they are united across the state, they have a very organized structure. At the lowest level, they have community development associations. And understand there's about 9,000 CDAs in Ogun State. When you group these CDAs together, then they become area CDCs. When you further group the area CDC, they become the zonal CDC at the local government level. And when you group the zonal cities and local government level, they become senatorial CDC. And therefore, at the apex level, they must also find a way of addressing whatever challenges that they have so that they come together as a one strong, united apex body that can provide leadership and motivate the structure below them and also interface more effectively with the government in the agenda of building our state, our future.
At the event, the community leaders appreciated the state government for the gesture and pledged their full support in the development of the state. Adebola Oshomoji, OGTV News.
The Ogun State government has distributed food palliatives to pensioners across the 20 local government areas of the state as part of measures to further cushion the effects of COVID-19 pandemic in the state. The Commissioner for Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Mr. Femi Ogubanwo, disclosed this while speaking in his office at Okemoson, Abeokuta, saying the distribution would further ease the plight of the pensioner and improve their standard of living that had been negatively affected by the pandemic.
I'm here on the instruction of the Excellency to extend to give palliative to the pensioners. Since the commencement of the second wave of COVID-19, we have been trying to assist those who believe that will be affected by this pandemic, especially those who are more vulnerable, like the artisans, the alternate medicine practitioners. We have given to the local government workers. So today is the turn of the pensioners.
In their separate messages, the State Chairman, Local Government Pensioner Association of Nigeria, Chief Sikiru Ayilara, State Chairperson, Retired Primary School Teachers Association of Nigeria, Mrs. Caroline Oguntola, and Comrade Bayonle Ismail, State Secretary Committee on Nigerian Union of Pensioners appreciated and commended the government for their kind gesture at ensuring the welfare and well-being of the people of the state, promising that more of this kind gesture would at all times be extended to the elders. Ogun State Ministry of Environment has commenced the clearing of water channels in Ota axis to allow for free flow of water. The permanent secretary in the ministry, Engineer Razak Ojetola, while speaking with OGTV News, said the exercise is ongoing in all the 3 senatorial districts of the state in preparation for the rainy season. Ido Fabajo has the details.
This is Ojuore in Ota in Adodo Ota local government area of Ogun State, where the residents complained of flood during the rainy season. The flood cannot be unconnected with the full of waste inside the drainages. The Ministry of Environment, in its proactiveness, has begun the clearing of drainages in the area to allow for free flow of water.
Even tẹ́ bá kọjá bí lásìkò òjò gan ẹ lè mọ̀ pé gọ́tà wà bí gbogbo ẹ̀ ló blọọkù pápátá, but inú wa dùn bó ṣe jẹ́ pé àrírànlọ́wọ́ pé wọ́n tẹ̀ wá ṣe ń bá wa ṣe wọ́n bá gbé gọ́tà yẹn lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tà wáyé. Gbogbo omi tó rogún sí àárín títì tó lè ba títì jẹ́ á lè máa bá gọ́tà yẹn lọ.
It's terrible during time of rain season. If rain fall, we cannot. Nobody can stop here. We can't stand here. The place will just full with water, just like a river from here till to run about. Where the work we are doing here now is very nice. It's very good.
We have done Agowoli, Shagamu, Udelemo, Ijebu, Obagbadibo Road, at Obasanjo Stop here, Ilaro, and a lot of work has been done in the clearing of waterways within Abeokuta and the Ogun Central here. So presently now we are at Sangwater. We are doing as a continuous work. We are preparing for the oncoming rainy season.
The permanent secretary in the ministry, Engineer Razak Ojetola, called on individuals to dispose their waste appropriately in order to achieve a clean environment.
To ensure that they maintain cleanliness and not put their waste in the drainage system. They should try as much as possible to drop their waste in the designated location where the Ogoma people provided for them.
He urged residents to follow the COVID-19 protocols to beat the second wave of the pandemic. Ido Fabaju, OGTV News.
Ogun State House of Assembly Committee on Works and Infrastructure has commenced an assessment tour on road construction across the 3 senatorial districts of the state, expressing satisfaction on the level of construction carried out so far on the various sites. Honorable Fasua, who led other members, made the remark in an interview shortly after conducting an on-the-spot assessment to Ogun East Senatorial District. Correspondent Kolawole Oshio's report is presented in this package.
Embarking on an on-the-spot assessment tour to the senatorial districts in Ogun State, House Committee on Works and Infrastructure, chaired by Honorable Abayomi Fasua, to ascertain the level of completion of ongoing road projects in the state. The lawmakers who lauded the strides of the present administration, led by Prince Dapo Abiodun, as a result of its renewed commitment to infrastructural development, especially roads construction to aid smooth human and vehicular movement, disclosed that the quality of job done by the contractors was an affirmation of their competence and capability to deliver quality roads.
Yeah, we've been able to move around, at least we've been able to move around like 10 road projects across the Central East, and possibly tomorrow we'll just touch one. So we've seen that this administration is working, and we've seen that most of the contractors we visited their site, they have the wherewithal to execute a very good job on all the projects that we visited. So we want to thank His Excellency Dr. Dapo Abiodun for the developmental stride that he's doing.
Other roads visited in Ogun East Senatorial District are Ijebu-Ode Epe Road, Ejinrin, Imowo, Eleron Road, reconstruction of Igon, Imere Junction, Inagowe, and Ilisho Market Road in Ikene, amongst others. The committee had earlier inspected some roads in Ogun Central Senatorial District, including Elite, Okelanto Road, Masheke, Adigbe. The committee expressed optimism that the project would be delivered within stipulated time by the contractors.
President Muhammadu Buhari has accepted the immediate resignation of service chiefs and their retirement from service. Those involved are the Chief of Defense Staff, General Abayomi Olonishakin, Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ibok Ikwe Ibas, and Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar. A statement by the presidential spokesperson, Femi Adesina, has it that President Buhari has approved the appointment of new service chiefs. They are Major General Leo Irabo, Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Hai Atairo, Chief of Army Staff, Rear Admiral A.Z. Gambo, Chief of Naval Staff and Air Vice Marshal Isiaka Oladayo Amao, Chief of the Air Staff. The President congratulated the new service chiefs and urged them to be loyal and dedicated in the discharge of their responsibilities. Nigeria's plan to float export trading company as a major intermediary in its efforts to boost non-oil exports and support the economic diversification agenda of the government. Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Export Promotion Council, NEPC, Mr. Shegun Awolowo, said the proposed export trading firm and related national aggregation centers are among other projects aimed at boosting exports. It said President Muhammadu Buhari had been investing in the economy despite earning less from oil, citing the 350 billion naira released to pay exporters' backlog through promissory notes and the recent release of 50 billion naira to the NEPC to cushion the effects of the coronavirus pandemic on export businesses, amongst others. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has urged doctors to treat victims of gunshot wounds first before asking for any police reports. Mr. Adamu stated this while answering questions from journalists in Abuja. Shedding light on the police policy on people with gunshot wounds, the police chief said, "No, we don't do that. Save life first, even if it's an individual, suspected robber, or kidnapper, or bandits." The Nigerian police force have in recent time warned hospitals and doctors to desist from rejecting gunshot victims, saying such an act constitutes a flagrant violation of existing laws. And on the foreign scene, U.S. President Joe Biden has warned Russian leader Vladimir Putin about election meddling in their first call as counterparts, the White House had said. The conversation included a discussion about the ongoing protests in Russia and an extension of the last remaining U.S.-Russia nuclear arms part. Mr. Putin congratulated the new U.S. president on winning the election, according to a Russia statement. Both parties said they agreed to maintain contact moving forward. Former U.S. President Donald Trump sometimes undercut his own administration's tough posture on Russia and was accused by some as being too differential to Mr. Putin. And in the world of sports, the Tokyo Olympics will top the agenda when the International Olympics Committee Executive Board meets today. But with the board firmly backing the event, any talk of scrapping it altogether due to the COVID-19 pandemic is highly unlikely. With less than 6 months to go until the troubled games are due to start, the board will instead tackle questions over the vaccination of athletes, international visitors, and the attendance of spectators, and safety regulations, among other matters. The Olympic body, which will meet remotely, nevertheless find itself in a similar situation to March last year, when it was forced to postpone the games by 12 months as the COVID-19 pandemic shut down sports worldwide. Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga is sticking to his government's commitment to host the game, with officials last week dismissing a report in the Britain's Time newspaper that Tokyo had abandoned hope of holding the event this year. Opinion polls in Japan shows the public is strongly against staging the games amid the pandemic. However, the IOC insists there is no plan B for Tokyo. To round up the midday news, peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. Don't forget that you can also watch us live on this platform, Apple, Roku, Facebook, and Android devices. You can also watch us live on OGTV website, www.ogtv.com.ng/live. And that's it on Midday News. Many thanks for staying with us. Good afternoon.